What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 74 of Park to Prem here with Nottingham Forest. Today, season number 15 really hits crunch time. It is the Champions League first knockout round, and today we've got the first leg against Barcelona, the team currently commanding the way in La Liga alongside Real Madrid, a team whom we're very familiar with at this point. We've played Hans Flick's team a number of times. They've got Camavinga, they've got Ansu Fati, debatably two of the best wonder kids in Football Manager this year. And in case they weren't enough, they've got perhaps the best player in this save game in terms of Ballon d'Ors, in terms of accolades, in Simplicio, who plays up front for them. So yeah, it is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Of course, last time we were here, the transfer window was open. Since then, we've played a decent amount of games. And, today we're going to be taking on Barcelona in the first leg. And I thought we'd bundle it in with a game against Tottenham. A Tottenham team who, just last episode, were breathing down our necks. But much like Chelsea, over the course of, the January-February period, the fixtures have caught up with them. They've slipped away a little bit. And dare I say that with a win here, we really would be landing a killer blow on any title hopes they have. And hopefully we will be inflicting such blows, but I am under no disillusion that no game is easy, as was reminded to me when we lost to Liverpool recently. But we'll talk about that in just a second, because first we've got to talk about the game since the 5-0 drubbing of Manchester United. And it started off with a good little win against Watford. 1-0 in this one, Erk with the solitary winning goal. And, as you're going to come to see, he's been pretty blooming important, has Erk, in our master plan this year. Of course, missed a huge amount of football through a broken leg. Was that going to hold him back? Absolutely not. He's got 7 player of the matches in 15 games. He is on absolute fire right now. He's been single-handedly ensuring that this winning run that we were on lasted a little bit longer than it did end up enduring. Anyway, the next result we had was against West Brom, a 3-0 win here, Gonzalez with 2, and in the next game against Southampton, 5-1 win, Gonzalez with 3. Yes, the goal scoring continues, and it continued into an FA Cup, where I started off with a rotated team, and then had to summon some of the big guns on off the bench to ensure the victory. Gonzalez and Gallardo with the goals there. Gallardo, bit of a weird player, Gallardo, I feel like. He's obviously a player we signed for £8 million. There wasn't a whole lot in the way of expectations for him, and yet last year he really shone. This year, dare I say, he's been a little bit disappointing. He's had 5 starts in the league in 27 games, so he's had some opportunities. Hasn't really shone there. But in this cup game, he chipped in with a goal, and we're still in the FA Cup. Yeah, we bottled the Carabao Cup. I want to have some domestic cup success this year if we can. As you can see, to end the month of January, we took on Wolves. We scraped by. It was Erk with the goal. It was Lind with a superb pass through. And again, it's the man we have to thank. It's Erk. Big moment, big goal. May need something like this in the Champions League this year, Erk. Make sure to save a little bit of this magic sauce, this magic energy, I don't know, whatever it is about him. This magic, just save it. Don't use it all up. Especially against teams like Wolves. No disrespect to Wolves, but yeah, we shouldn't need magic to beat them. And as you can see here, the clean sheets continued into February, at least to begin with. 2-0 wins against Palace and Bournemouth. However, most recently, a slip-up against Liverpool. A rotated team played in this match ahead of, the Champions League coming up just a few days later. Liverpool, a team who have never really been particularly great in the save game. In this game, as you've already seen, Llorente scored. It was the only goal of the game in terms of it went their way, and it finished 1-0. What made this particularly disappointing was Ionu started up front. I subbed him off for Gonzalez, and then Gonzalez went and got injured. Yes, a rotated team played. I was trying to protect Gonzalez, and, he's fractured his big toe. So, as a result, he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. We'll almost certainly miss the second leg, unfortunately, against Barcelona in a few weeks' time. I don't know, maybe the state-of-the-art magic and medicine, we can fix a broken toe in 3 weeks, but it feels like a tall order. What it does mean is today, going away from home against Barcelona, we are without our star striker. And of all the positions that we have, it's the one area where, whilst I have players who can maybe step up, I don't think we've got that proven option. The big debate really is, do I go with Ionu up front or do I go with Ederson up front? 2 players who are both very, very good strikers. You can see here the comparison between the 2 of them. In terms of performances, there is just 0.01 between them. So yeah, it's not like there's a standout player here. 4 goals for Ionu this year, 3 for Ederson. Yeah, there isn't really an obvious option here. But having seen Ionu play midweek against Liverpool and not really wow me, I'm going to give the 19-year-old the nod. Yes, this is a big call, but he's a player who's developed a lot. He looks very, very good, does Ederson. He may only have 13 finishing, but I don't know. There's something about him. There's something that's telling me that he's the man to play in this game. Maybe that's going to turn out to be a massive error. In terms of the rest of the team, the great news is we're pretty much at full strength. And in fact, you may notice a player missing because it's been January. We did some transfer business. Let's talk about it. And on the outs, I sold Tudor. Yeah, just a couple of episodes ago, talking about how I was going to somehow try and get him into the team. Ultimately, towards the end of the transfer window, Real Madrid came in with a bid. It could potentially be worth 60 million or close to that. I can't remember the exact clauses, but when I reviewed it, I felt pretty confident that those kind of terms would be met. And for a player who's only played 5 games this year, who hasn't really wowed us when we've given him previous opportunities in our team, I feel like it's a pretty nice sum of money to receive for a player who, you know what, he's young, he's talented, he's good, but I don't know if he's ever going to have the potential to be a regular starter for us. And with that in mind, just kind of decided to let him go. I don't know if that's going to prove to be an unpopular decision. I think ultimately we're not really losing a first-team player. And well, with that money, I've reinvested it in a couple of areas. You'll notice here that Okan has officially joined us, the right-back, which is great to see. Elsewhere, I have signed another right-back, or at least I think he'll be a right-back. Akini Garrett. He is a English youngster, 16 years old, fairly ambitious personality. I've spent 30 million on him. And unfortunately, if you've played Football Manager, you know the kind of prices that young English players command, especially after Brexit, where foreign players are really important. You can see here he's naturally a centre mid, can play out on the right. I am signing him to play right wing back. Not right now, he's 16, but in the coming years, am I crazy? Am I going nuts? I just feel like he's got great potential. He's 16 years old, he's English, great personality, and he hasn't gotten a single attribute below 10 for a wing-back. So I feel like the conversion process isn't going to be too challenging. I don't know, maybe I've gone crazy here. I think he's going to be a really good investment. Elsewhere, one player that we've agreed to sign for the future. Well, actually, there's 2, I suppose. Let's talk about Gomez first. I was going to talk about the other player, but we'll talk about Jorge Gomez first. 17 years old, Brazilian forward. I mean, I don't need more strikers, but I went and signed another one. But the big player to talk about is Wolfer, who has just turned 16. He plays for Bayern. I mean, that may ring a bell. It may remind you of Ballo. He's 16, and I'm going to be honest, he just looks absolutely nuts. The scouts like him a lot. I like him a lot. You can see here he's been playing for Bayern's second team already. As I mentioned, whilst he's 16, he actually only turned 16 3 months ago. So he's an exceptionally young player with some tremendous physicals, some nice player traits as well. Great passing. Have I gone nuts? I don't know. I feel like to get these 2 players for 55 million, whilst it's not cheap, the first team's in a great spot. Tudor wasn't playing anyway, and I think we've got 2 players who have the potential to really excel beyond the level of the Romanian player who's allowed us to fund those deals. Anyway, they're the transfer business bits that we've done. The transfer window's since shut. No more plans, really. And now it's all about what can our current squad do? Can it do it against Barcelona? We're going to try and answer that question over the course of the next 2 episodes, starting things here as we go to the new camp, which always scares me a little bit. I've talked about Simplicio, I've talked about Fati and Camavinga. They've got Reimer, who used to play for Manchester United, and let's be frank, he's very, very good. They've got a few players 1 booking away from a suspension. So maybe that is something that we can look to play into, just looking at these defenders. Vinicius, Enduhasel as well. They're pretty good players. So if we could get them suspended today, I'd consider that a small little win. In terms of team news, I rotated the team completely for the match against Liverpool. I'm hoping that is going to benefit us going into this game nice and fresh. Hopefully that defeat against Liverpool isn't going to have been all in vain. Away from home here, I need an away goal or 2. Of course, I bang the drum on this a lot. I feel like home and away advantage is a massive thing in Football Manager, especially this year and last year. And it's the kind of thing where going into this away leg, if we can get a away goal, if we can keep the goals kind of scoreline to 1 or 2, I'll be relatively happy. That's not to say that that's what I'm expecting us to do. I feel like we've got the quality to really go toe-to-toe with Barcelona here. But I like to put on my realist cap and kind of approach this game with a not a, I don't want to say a conservative outlook, a negative output, but kind of looking at things for what they are and being realistic, I suppose, with my expectations. DeVio dispossessed. I did wonder if a penalty might be given for a second there. Sadly, not the case. You can see here as well, we're playing in our grey kit. Not sure how I feel about it, but maybe DeVio likes the colour grey. Does he like the... He likes the colour green. He's kicked the ball straight at the keeper. Great opportunity for us. The best chance of the game. Apparently it didn't count as a shot, so I guess he just dribbled it all the way into the keeper. Not sure what to make of that. Ederson tries to flick it in. That was a bit ambitious. De Volder with another effort, this time saved by the keeper again. Ederson up front. I think he tried a fancy flick there to score, which I don't know how to feel about it. It was always going to be difficult to score from that situation. While Ansu Fati brings it forward. Danny Dyer, first bit of action he's been called into. He clutches onto the ball. He deals with it well. And while the first 15 minutes full of chances, and it may not be over yet, this highlight. Romero, more ordering down this left-hand side, cuts inside, squares it, and Yanez Adam is there to score. I thought Danny Dyer was going to get to the cross here, and he just didn't. What went wrong here? Can we see it from a slightly higher angle? Romero coming down this side. I'm going to be honest, I thought the highlight was going to fizzle out into nothing after the initial chances, but it just kept going. And I think that's gone through the keeper's legs. Danny Dyer, you're not covering yourself in lots of glory here, I'll be honest. Let's not discuss the price tag. Let's not mention it with him around. We don't need to apply any more pressure on him. Half an hour gone. It's been fairly even besides the goal. Unfortunately, having close to the same amount of shots as the opposition isn't worth anything in football. You don't get any bonus points for that, sadly. So let's see if we can go on the offensive here. Largo, Ederson, DeVio. Plays it back to Largo. Brings it forward. Burst of pace. Tries to squeeze it in at the near post. Francesc. In goal for Barcelona. Currently earning his keep. Not for the first time in this game. He makes a huge stop. Erk's going to whip it goalwards. It's headed away off the head of Piotr. And, well, I'm hoping now they're not going to catch us out on the break, although with Simplicio just lurking up there, it's always a bit scary. Erk whips in the ball. Piccione tries to get a header, can't do it. And now Reimer, centre attacking mid, bringing it forward for Barcelona. We need to transition into defence here. Camavinga in the wide areas, back to Reimer. Barcelona committing a fair few men in this attack. And while currently we cannot wrestle the ball off them, it's dinked towards the back post. Huge header by Navio. Great header as well to find Lind. And Ederson takes it down superbly, brings it forward. His effort's blocked, falls to Erk, skips past one man, skips past two men, and tucks it into the bottom corner. He's got the magic. He's putting on a magic show. He's a blooming magician. In fact, you know what? Magicians, they do kind of, sleight of hand magic. No, he's a wizard. He really does do magic. Ederson's shot blocked. Erk is there, skips past one, uses that turn of pace and agility to get past another. And whilst he might not be the most physically imposing player in the world, Erk, in situations like that, he can turn on a sixpence. And then we're going to just watch them score right away. It's a corner. Simplicio whips it in. Vinicius heads it goalwards. It's back to 2-1. I mean, it was nice whilst it was back level, wasn't it? We enjoyed that for the short while that it existed. And well, now it's 2-1. Again. Which is just a little bit gutting. A set-piece goal scored. We actually conceded a set-piece event to Liverpool. Their kind of goal that they scored came from a big, wide ball into the box. Maybe something to reevaluate. Although we've got a breakaway here. It's 3-on-2. Ederson with it. The youngster. Can he do something magical? The answer is a resounding no. And that is going to be it for the first half. It finishes 2-1 at the break. I feel like, I don't want to say we've been the better team. I feel like we've done okay there. If we can put in a performance like that, maybe be a tiny bit more clinical. Perhaps it's time for Ionu to go and get warmed up. Although Ederson's not put in a particularly bad performance. Lind on a booking does scare me a little. I'm going to take him off and bring in Adrian Smith. We're going to go with an early change in the midfield. Already an hour gone. Endicel has a booking, which is nice. And well, Erk's ball in there lacked a little bit of the quality required. So we know they're going to be without one of their centre-backs for the next leg. Can we get the rest of their defence booked? Fati bringing it forward. Do not foul him. He's fouled him. Oh dear. Not like this, Football Manager. This is not the first leg we needed in this tie. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I needed. Why are you doing it to me like this, Football Manager? Is it going to be given? I think it has to be. It is. And well, Danny Dyer, I've been critical of you. Don't remember you saving a penalty. If you could save one now, we'll never mention the price tag ever again. We will continue to mention the price tag. It's 3-1 here. Simplicio finds the back of the net. And with that, I'm going to bring in Poyana for De Vaio for our second change of the game. Simplicio sends the keeper the wrong way. Wasn't a particularly great penalty into the corner, but when the keeper goes the wrong way, don't have to hit it particularly hard or with any real deal of accuracy. We need a response, though. And could we get one right away? We're straight into another highlight. The fact that they're back in possession does scare me slightly. Simplicio with the ball in the wide area. He's pulled the strings throughout this game. Do not foul him in the penalty area again. That's a good tackle by Navio. Can Smith get there? He can't, fresh off the bench. And now Fatty's through. Dyer doesn't stop it. It's 4-1. And suddenly a game where we look by far and away the better team slips away from us, and suddenly there is a massive, massive road ahead of us if we do indeed want to come out of the first knockout round of the Champions League. Do I want to go more attacking here? I think I almost have to. We'll bring in Smith to play shadow striker. Poyana, I'm actually going to have to play inverted winger still on attack. I've got one last sub left. I'm going to take off Edison and I'm going to bring in Ionu. Edison has like a 7.0 rating, but that is largely because of an assist for the first goal of the game. At least our first goal of the game that went to work, which was a shot that was blocked. So the fact that's even been attributed to him feels a little bit generous in itself. 69 minutes gone. Barcelona look hungry for this. Ionu, I'm looking for an inspired sub-appearance. Largo, over to Poyana. On the left-hand side, fresh off the bench, runs at his man, skips past his man. Can he finish it? He can't. He hits the outside of the post. I feel like we need another goal here. I feel like we need a goal. A second away goal. I think that is our route into this game. I think if it finishes like this, it's going to be a tall order for us. Poyana's looking lively on the left-hand side. Skips past his man. Shoots again. Don't shoot like that, Largo. Not Largo, Poyana. Sorry, Largo. Didn't mean you, mate. Told off the wrong player there. Don't think he heard me. I think we're okay. I mean, there's just no time here. I don't want to go too attacking, but I'm going to go to very attacking for the last couple of minutes, and sadly, it's going to finish 4-1 here. Edison, 7.0. Not much of a silver lining that. They were by far and away the better team, boys. I am not happy with that performance. We have a mammoth task ahead of us going into the second leg. And that, my friends, is bitterly, bitterly disappointing. That's not what I wanted to see. I mean, right, we're going to go away. We've got a game to recover from. We're going to take on Tottenham. I think I may even play a rotated 11 for it. A win here, as I said, puts Tottenham out of the title race. It could help us extend our lead at the top. United really still breathing down our necks. We beat them 5-0, so you know what? I think we can still take down Barcelona. It's going to take a little bit of luck, but yeah, don't go anywhere. Let's get a result against Tottenham. Get some confidence going ahead of tomorrow's episode where, well, to be frank, we've got a mighty mountain to climb. Okay, guys, we are back here for game number 2 against Tottenham, and well, for this game, we're going to rotate things a little. I don't want to push this team too hard. We've had lots of injuries with issues with injuries this year, I should say. So with that in mind, I'm just going to click the second best 11 button, which has become a little bit of a favourite button of mine as of late. One thing I've actually been doing, which might be a little unpopular, is that I've been trying to give Twardzik and Correa as much first-team football as possible. We discussed it last episode with kind of the departures going on. They're two players who I want to give as much first-team football to at centre-back. They're two of the best centre-backs in the world. Phenomenal ability on the ball. I want to keep them happy. That has come at the consequence that Silva doesn't really get as much football as he might like. Of course, 27 years old, Silva, a player who's always been a pretty good little squad option for us. Debatably, I was gonna say debatably, I don't think there is much debate. Of all our kind of out-and-out centre-backs, I think he is probably the third best centre-back in the squad, but being slightly older, being a player who I am looking to potentially move on in the summer, I do feel like giving Twardzik and Correa first-team opportunities makes sense. Similar story with players like Ramirez as well. You know, still a lot of potential for Ramirez to fulfill. And whilst he is now 23, he has continued to show some really nice development. I feel quite fortunate to be in a situation like this where I can snap my fingers and we have just a rotated team that comes in. You can see Hamada has played 4 games in the Premier League as well as 3 in the Champions League. He's going to get some minutes here again, a player who has recently signed a new deal to be a backup. And just on the contract front, actually, a lot of players have renewed their contracts recently. We've signed Largo now till 2039. His contract was running up in 2 years' time. And a similar situation with Urk. As a result, the total wage spend has crept up just a little bit. Of course, we've got the likes of Mbappe retiring, but we are still within our current wage budget. Obviously, the overall balance here is looking a little bit messy, but that's kind of been the case for the last few years. Ultimately, I'm spending within the means that the board allow me to spend within. Anyway, it's a chance for the kids to show us what they're going to do, alongside Van Dijk, who at this point, age 29, is one of the most veteran players in this team, which feels a little bit bizarre. I feel like I know I really am in the future now, where we have a regen who's kind of quickly approaching their 30s. That's when a Football Manager save game is getting a little bit too deep, even for my own liking. Anyway, let's get into this. We are at home against Pep Guardiola's Tottenham. I think it screams a lot about the faith I have in the kids and in our squad to get a result here against a team who currently reside 4th in the league. Of course, after this match, only 10 games left of the season. We're actually playing on the Sunday. United have already played and won. Chelsea have already played a game and won, which perhaps makes the fact I'm rotating the team here all that more risky. But it's something that I think we have to do, particularly now knowing the task at hand against Barcelona. I don't want to risk injuries. We're already without Gonzalez. And look at that, Gallardo. We talked about him before the Barcelona game not being good enough this year, not getting the goals. He got a couple in, I was going to say a couple in the cup. He got 1 in the cup against Southampton. He's now got 1 here in the league. That's nice to see. Matty mopping up the pieces from a corner that was dealt with, Smith with it, threaded through Gallardo. And, well, that is why he is a regular of the Argentine national team. He's pacey and he can finish. 1-0 here. And, well, hopefully we're not getting a repeat of the previous game. Hopefully we can just get a few goals here and have a nice, chilled out home win to try and perk up my mood. Although I will be completely honest with you, I am just sat thinking about that Barcelona, the consequences of potentially going out in the Champions League knockouts at a very early stage yet again. It's hard not to be disappointed by it. It makes me question, will I ever win a Champions League at Nottingham Forest before we wrap up this series? You know, if we win the league 4 times in a row, how long can we keep going? Well, maybe we shouldn't worry just yet, because we're 2-0 up here. Van Dijk has scored. Play like this against Barcelona, we'll have 4 by full time and it'll be fine. Of course, tomorrow, Man City, another team we're going to be taking on in the opening game. They've been very disappointed in this year. They sacked Omri in the summer. They've looked to change some stuff up. And to be frank, obviously they have not got their money anymore, Man City, in this Football Manager universe. And they are very much in and amongst the kind of Europa League stragglers, dare I say, on 46 points. Anyway, speaking of our game here, we're going pretty well. 2-0 at the break. Delighted with how things are going. Not a whole host of replays or highlights. Not a whole host of opportunities for either team. But against a Spurs team who did beat us when we took them on in their ground, when we've invited them over to Nottingham, it's been a slightly different tale thus far. 32 minutes left. Ball whipped in towards the back post. Towards it, gets it away to Gabriel. Now with Semele. Correa puts in a tackle and doesn't get a toe on it. And Eastham, with what's really the first opportunity we've seen here for Tottenham, scores before the 60-minute mark to put them ahead. And I'm looking for someone to blame here. Was Twardsik's defensive header good enough? Probably not. Was the marking there good enough? Was Correa's tackle good enough? Was Hamada's effort good enough? I think there's a few people who we can look at. But ultimately, we can't just play the blame game for every goal. Although if they now go and score another, we will start to play the blame game just a little bit. I'm going to make a change here. Ionu's been poor. Edison's going to come in. Poyana is tired. Let's bring in Irk. Maybe he can get a few more goals for his goal-scoring record. And elsewhere, I'm going to bring in Navio for Matty on a booking. A triple sub happening, but there's a highlight going on. Ionu, you're about to come off. Give me a reason to keep you on. Poyana, down the right-hand side, hits it. It's Massey with the save. But I think I'm going to keep these changes going. Let's get some fresh legs in the final third. If Gonzalez is going to be out for a period of time here with a broken toe, I need to get Edison or Ionu firing. So far today, they've both kind of not been particularly impressive, to be completely honest with you. But there's still time here, and we need to be alert. 13 minutes left here. Tottenham in possession, bringing the ball out from the back, played forward. Red and well dealt with nicely there. It's now with Irk, Smith, Ramirez. A ball attempted to be played through. It's very fortuitous, but we'll take it. Edison scores. He's found his shooting boots. On off the bench. I'm not sure who that was on the right side. I think it was Irk, the intended recipient of the pass, and kind of similar to the goal that they scored, to be fair. Ramirez playing the ball through. The defender gets a toe on it, and that toe ended up being a superb little through ball that deceived the goalkeeper and gave Edison the goal at his mercy to make it 3-1, and I think we can relax. I say that, 2 minutes later, there's another highlight starting. Don't do it to me, Football Manager. Not like this. I want a nice, chilled-out result with absolutely no drama, and you're giving me this. That shot narrowly wide of the post. And you know what? It might not be... I was going to time waste, but we'll just wait for Irk to score a free kick. Then we won't need to time waste. I'll tell you what, the keeper's not even moved there. Not a bad free kick effort. Now, we'll put a little bit of time wasting. Let's just see out this game. I don't want any late nonsense where they get one goal and we're suddenly panicking. A chance here, though, for us. Ball thrown to Irk. The two Turkish players linking up superbly. Smith hits it, and that'll do me. 4-1. I mean, if we can do that against Barcelona, it will go to penalties. I shouldn't look at every game as if this happens against Barcelona. Stop worrying about that game, Jack. You can only control what you can control. It's a good finish by Smith, though. 4-1. And, well, the B team, the kids, they've done all right here. They've given a good account of themselves in a live com. I feel like it's nice to sometimes play the youngsters in a risky game. I'll claim it was a calculated risk. The VAR official has summoned the referee over there. What has happened there? What's potentially been seen that I've not seen? The ball was launched into the box and dealt with, but now, well, he's looking at his monitor for something. What is madly thinking he has seen? What are you going to give here, son? He's given a penalty, and it's Hamada in goal to save the penalty. I believe in you. If he saves this penalty, I'm playing him against Barcelona, and you can't stop me. He hasn't stopped it. We miss all our penalties. They score all theirs. That's the story of FM21. And you might call it confirmation bias, because yes, we have scored some this year. But whenever the camera's on these players, they just bottle it. 4-2. I mean, could there be a fifth? Edison played through by Irk. The flag is up. It's all a big shame, really. The last kick of the game is going to be an offside goal that we're not even going to see the replay for. But it's 3 points at the end of the day. Gallardo, do not get sent off right now. This is not the time to go in with tackles like that. Was he offside? Maybe a smidge. It was a good finish by Edison. It was a good ball in by Irk. But unfortunately, it probably was offside. There's now a corner to deal with. What is happening here? They've scored. It's 4-3. I mean, we've played a minute and a half extra here. What is actually happening? 4-1 looked great. 4-2 looks okay. 4-3, we look like we've scraped through. It's a great header at the back post as well. I mean, there's no time. Thank you, ref. I was panicking for a small second there. A nice victory. Not as convincing as it could have been, but we will take it at the end of the day. And with that, we do reinstate our 3-point lead over United. 2 extra time goals. Not going to change the game there. And good to see Smith get man of the match. Look at that. A player who I think is a bit of an unsung hero, dare I say, of this save game. He was a contributor in that game there. Either way, tomorrow is a big day. We've got a couple of games against Charlton and Villa, but we're going to be coming back for the big ones. An away trip to Man City, a home game against Barcelona. I hope you're ready. We're going to have to turn around a mighty deficit, but I feel like we have a team that could do it. In some timeline, I will get Doctor Strange to look forward and tell me what I need to do in order to achieve that. I hope to see you guys for that episode tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a big one. And well, until then, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.